Chun Yuan was having a casual conversation with his girlfriend, Lin, when she suddenly announced her decision to break up with him, leaving him shocked and desperate. His dreams of a future with her shattered as her final words resonated in his mind, ending their conversation abruptly without any room for discussion. Lin blocked him without explanation, leaving Chun feeling hollow and empty. His despair was ridiculed by his peers, who saw his sixth breakup in a month as a joke. They laughed at him, reinforcing his reputation as someone stuck in a cycle of heartbreak. Throughout their 3-year relationship, Chun had been devoted to Lin, making sacrifices and working multiple jobs to show his love and commitment. Despite his efforts, Lin remained cold and unresponsive, earning Chun the nickname Licking Dog for his perceived servitude and love. Chun tried to reconcile with Lin outside their hostel, pouring his heart out and begging for another chance, but she dismissed him with cold indifference. Onlookers judged his efforts as futile, believing Lin would never change her mind. Lin made it clear that the relationship was over, dismissing Chun's emotional appeals and leaving with another man named Huang, warning Chun to never contact her again. Chun stood alone, holding the food he brought for Lin, now feeling empty and rejected. He discarded the meal and tried to numb the pain with soda, but it only provided a fleeting distraction. Despite the self-doubt and humiliation, something profound began to stir within him. Chun had reached a breaking point that compelled him to make a life-changing decision. He made a promise to himself never to beg for love or compromise his dignity. He was determined to regain control of his life by transforming himself into a self-assured and independent sea king who commanded respect instead of seeking it through constant self-sacrifice. Suddenly, a mysterious event occurred in response to his changed attitude. A glowing system interface appeared in front of him, capturing his attention with its faint light. This interface showed Chun's personal information, along with an unexpected and intriguing proposition. The system offered to reshape his fate, providing him with the tools to change his circumstances and take control of his own future. Chun was amazed and torn between disbelief and fascination at the surreal moment. The options presented to him were both overwhelming and alluring. Before he could fully comprehend the significance of the system's appearance, a clumsy incident brought him back to reality. While distracted, his hand accidentally touched a nearby woman, Su Lele, who reacted sharply, warning him to maintain appropriate boundaries. Chun, taken aback by her response, stumbled through an apology, feeling embarrassed by the situation. The encounter left him feeling even more humiliated, adding to the already chaotic nature of his day. Despite the awkwardness, the system continued to be active, displaying new information through its glowing interface. To Chun's surprise, it revealed basic details about Su Lele, including her initial negative impression of him. Surprisingly, her negative points quickly turned into positive ones. This unexpected change left Chun puzzled and intrigued by the sudden shift. As Chun processed the unfolding events, his initial discomfort was replaced by a growing sense of curiosity. Chun was completely absorbed in reading the latest notification from the system, his eyes widening in disbelief as he processed the information. He was stunned to learn that he now had access to a staggering $9 trillion for spending on women. The enormity of this discovery was hard to grasp, but he eagerly continued reading to understand more. The system revealed that the large sum was connected to a special card that could only be used by women. Additionally, it mentioned an interesting twist. Each time the money was spent, Chun would receive personal rewards in return. Intrigued by this unusual setup, Chun decided to test the system's authenticity by offering to cover Su Lele's expenses as a good deed. The system immediately acknowledged his gesture, confirming a connection between him and Su Lele. Shortly after, Chun received his first task, to counteract Su Lele, with a 10% reward as motivation. Meanwhile, Su Lele perceived Chun's actions in her own way. Seeing his eagerness to spend on her, she assumed he was showing off his wealth. With her confident nature and natural charm, she believed it was normal for men to want to shower her with financial gifts. She also wondered if Chun was upset, but he assured her otherwise, explaining that he was fine and willing to help. When Su Lele mentioned treating her friends at the store, Chen offered to pay without hesitation. Despite the awkwardness, he scanned the QR code on her phone to complete the payment. A notification soon confirmed the successful transaction, as onlookers observe in amazement at Chen's nonchalant demeanor and the substantial amount of money involved. After returning her phone, Chen suggested they connect on WeChat, surprising Su Lele and sparking her curiosity about his background. She pondered if he belonged to a wealthy family, but kept her interest concealed behind a composed exterior. Taking advantage of the chance to investigate further, Su Lele decided not to immediately accept his WeChat request. Instead, she asked Chen to join her and her friends, recognizing the potential for a beneficial outcome. They then left the convenience store and made their way to HV World, a popular shopping area. While walking, Su Lele clarified that she wasn't interested in money, but was simply testing Chen's loyalty. Though Chen listened to her explanation, he still had doubts about her true intentions. Despite his suspicions, he encouraged her to buy whatever she wanted, determined to assess the capabilities of his mysterious licking dog system. The experiment had become a unique opportunity for him to gain insight into how the system functioned and the possible rewards it could offer. Su Lele, clearly enjoying herself, browsed through the store's products before choosing an elegant designer bag. Showing it to Chun, she asked for his opinion with a smile. Chun, keeping his cool, responded carefully, subtly concealing his amusement at the situation. Su Lele's sarcastic manner cut through the tension in the room when she mentioned arriving at an inconvenient time, subtly referencing Chen's ex-girlfriend. Despite the mocking tone of her comment, Chen remained unaffected and responded with a light laugh, reassuring Lele that her timing was perfect. His calm demeanor put her at ease, prompting Lele to resume her shopping confidently. She soon asked about the store's spring collection availability, learning that only one piece remained. This mention of the item caught the attention of Lin, Chen's ex-girlfriend, who was nearby with a resentful look on her face. Lin observed Chun and Lele's interaction closely, trying to mask her emotions while attempting to assert her status and wealth. However, her efforts to impress the man beside her by mentioning his upcoming birthday had little effect. The man pointed out that his birthday had already passed, leading Lin to make an excuse about celebrating both his lunar and solar birthdays instead. He reminded Lin of her past remarks against materialism, leaving her unsettled as she realized her attempts to impress him were in vain. The tension in the room was palpable, and Lin struggled to keep her composure, especially as she hesitated about buying the desired bag. Seizing the opportunity, Lele confidently claimed the bag for herself, asserting her dominance in the situation. Her sense of triumph grew when Chen stepped in and paid for the item without hesitation, impressing Lele and boosting her favorability toward him. Witnessing these events unfold, Chen felt triumphant as he saw how material gestures could influence Lele's opinion, validating his decision to test the mysterious system. Meanwhile, whispers among the store staff highlighted the contrasting behaviors of seemingly wealthy individuals being frugal while more modest customers spent generously. Lin couldn't ignore the judgments swirling around her, feeling weighed down by the observations of the staff. Outside the store, Lele reveled in what she perceived as her victory. To her, possessions like the new bag she acquired represented success and value, especially when obtained by outshining a rival. Her behavior changed noticeably as she held on to Chun, shifting from being aloof to playful and affectionate. She started using sweet nicknames for him, showing that she was growing attached to him. Chun was a bit surprised by the sudden change in her actions, but he couldn't ignore that she was beginning to favor him more. On the other hand, Lin remained silent, with a mix of frustration and disbelief on her face. She was trying to come to terms with what had happened, struggling to understand the consequences of her defeat. Suddenly, the system's voice broke Chen's thoughts, announcing a new update. Lin was now a target for binding. Despite her current unfavorable status, the system pointed out the possibility of a comeback that could change her favor towards Chun and result in significant rewards. Chun reacted calmly to this information, activating his strategic thinking as he prepared to handle the changing dynamics with precision. Lele, still happy about her success, approached Chun with a sly grin. She continued to act playful as she praised herself for her performance, joking with him about whether he was still upset. Chin played along with her teasing, suggesting that her love for shopping was never-ending. He joked that one bag was clearly not enough for her, which made Lele burst into laughter. Confidently striding into the new store, Chin immediately took control and projected an aura of authority that captured the attention of everyone present. He indicated various items and instructed the salesperson to wrap up all except few items. His casual order to swipe his card delighted the staff, who eagerly promised that the items would be delivered to his designated address. The atmosphere was filled with excitement as he flaunted his effortless wealth. Su Lele, burdened with designer shopping bags, couldn't help but admire Chun. After a seemingly endless shopping spree of luxury items, Lele jokingly declared that they had bought enough and her rented room might not have space for everything. Just when she thought Chun would stop, he surprised her and everyone else by casually suggesting buying her a house if space was an issue. His bold statement left the staff amazed and momentarily rendered Lele speechless. Initially thrilled by the lavish attention, Lele started feeling a bit anxious. Chin's extravagant spending was overwhelming, especially since this was their first real interaction. She voiced her concerns about it being too much too soon, causing a slight decrease in her favorability points. Chin quickly noticed her change in mood and realized his actions might have unintentionally made her uncomfortable. Despite the allure of his wealth, he understood that such extravagance could create unease and insecurity. To alleviate the tension, Chin softened his approach and spoke in a gentle, reassuring manner. He shared personal details about Lele, such as her age, preferences, favorite foods, and habits, surprising her with his ability to remember. Addressing the store staff, Chin asked them to add 50,000 TWD to a membership card, ensuring Lele could explore future collections without worry. Impressed by his thoughtfulness, the staff did so eagerly. Chin then handed the card to Lele as a kind gesture. A playful remark about the card being compensation for her earlier concerns made her blush, though she defiantly uplifted her chin to conceal her emotions. She jokingly accused him of being spoiled before quickly leaving the store. Despite her playful remark, her liking for Chun rose by 30 points due to his charm and generosity. Onlookers noticed the exchange, with store patrons praising Chin's thoughtfulness and charisma. Their compliments boosted his confidence, confirming his belief that subtle teasing had a greater impact than flaunting wealth outright. As they continued shopping, Lele noticed something interesting. Chin bought plenty for her, but nothing for himself. This made her feel guilty, suspecting that Chin's financial situation might not be as stable as it appeared. Wanting to reciprocate his generosity, Lele decided to take action by selecting a few items for him. She wanted to shift the dynamic and show that she was also willing to give. Her kindness didn't end there, as she insisted on taking Chun for a haircut to refresh his appearance. Though hesitant, Chun agreed and was curious about the outcome. The transformation was remarkable, turning his disheveled look into a refined, scholarly elegance that caught attention as they walked. Lele observed with pride, feeling a sense of accomplishment in his transformation. Her liking for Chun grew once again as she admired his ability to adapt and impress.